Camping OffGrid. It's not a new thing, it's been around for millions of years, since the dark ages and the day of the caveman. Think about that, how he was camping without a power supply, no batteries, no torches, no solar panels, no nothing. Just sitting around his fire, cooking his food, and that was off-grid camping since those days. Off-grid camping's even been around since before colour TV. But these days, it's so much easier, and you can add in a few little things to make your camping trips, your caravan trips, living in a motorhome, anything, so much easier. With this product here, the new Elite 100 V2 from BLUETTI. We've been using that little ripper for a month now at home and in our adventures, just to test it out and really prove how good it is. And I'd like to tell you that I'm seriously impressed with that unit. Did I say I was impressed with this little unit? Yes, it's small, it's compact, it's lighter, it's faster and it's smarter, and it can do everything. It's powered everything that we've asked of it. And in this video, I'm going to prove that we can power our whole caravan off of the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2. Yes, it's a big ask from a little unit like that, but you can plug it in, and I'll show you how, and power your whole caravan. If you don't have a big off-grid power battery system, inverters and everything else, you could use a BLUETTI Power Station just to power your entire trips away. As long as you have got some way of charging it, like we have here. 250 watt folding panel and a 300 watt solar blanket. As long as you've got a way to charge that little unit. We are parked under some trees here, so we're not getting 100% sun. Got to keep moving the panels, but that's given us enough to charge the BLUETTI for what we're going to put it through. Come with me and I'll show you how we can make off-grid camping that much easier just by using this device. Yes, we have got all the big battery system in our van. Yes, we have got the inverter. We're all set up for off-grid living and all the creature comforts, but I just want to prove the point that we can do it simply and purely off of the BLUETTI. And tonight we're going to use the slow cooker to cook a nice little piece of silverside corn meat and just show you how much power it actually uses. And we proved this using it at home a few weeks ago. We cooked a whole stew slow cooking for 6 hours without a problem. Yes, slow cookers only have a low draw, they don't use many watts, many amps, but when you can power a whole caravan with the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2 or even a bigger unit and extend your stays off grid, it doesn't get any better than that. So we'll go ahead, we'll plug all this in and show you how we're going to power the whole caravan off of the BLUETTI. We love our off-grid camping. A little bit of history about us. We didn't start off with big battery systems and solar panels and inverters. We started off with a swag and an esky. Well, that's how I started off anyway many years ago, and it wouldn't change a thing. If we could go back to those days, yes, it'd be alright, but as age sets in, you want those creature comforts of a hot shower and a nice bed to sleep in instead of sleeping on the ground in your swag. And cooking on the fire, we still love cooking on the fire. We'll do that every opportunity that we get. There is going to be those times in our future adventures around Australia where we can't have fires and we're totally limited to cooking on the gas. Trying to extend our stays and save on gas is using more of the power from the sun and the power system, and having the BLUETTI is going to extend our stays there. So if we do run low after days or weeks of cloudy, rainy weather and we're not getting much solar input, we got the BLUETTI there as a backup power supply. It's small and it's compact, and it'll fit in the ute with us perfectly for charging all the camera gear and drone gear and everything while we're on the move. And once we get set up with the BLUETTI Charger 1, we'll have endless supply of power for charging everything that we need, as well as a backup power supply for running the entire caravan. So to power your entire caravan from this little unit here, which does put out 1800 watts with around an 85 amp hour battery that's in there, that'll easily run you for a couple of days as long as you've got solar charging it or some way of charging it, which ideally when you're parked up like this is through your solar panels via the sun. But to power your caravan, you do need an adapter, because the BLUETTI has 10 amp outlets on your 240 volt and your caravan input is 15 amps. So that's why we have this adapter here, which converts from 10 amp out of the BLUETTI to 15 amp. So you simply plug that into there, and then you plug your power lead in, and that's running straight to the caravan. Go around and just prove that we're not plugged into any other power source. Follow the cable around and it is plugged in to the caravan on the input side. The only other thing we need to do is turn the switch from inverter power back to mains power on the inside, and then all we need to do is hit the switch to turn her on, So it's on, push AC, and we're powered. So there you go, that's how easy it can be. And this is in our scenario for what we're doing. But imagine you didn't have a caravan, you got your vehicle, you got a swag, you got an esky. Well, you could upgrade that whole setup and run a 12-volt fridge from the BLUETTI. A simple solar panel setup, keep you going for days if not weeks if you got good sun. That's all you need. It's a quick and easy setup thanks to BLUETTI. So to charge your BLUETTI power station from the sun, using this supplied cable with MC4 connectors through an adapter back to Anderson plug, and I've got a double Anderson plug adapter there to connect both solar panels, and then just using the sun you can gather all that energy to charge your BLUETTI power station. So stick around guys. Soon we'll be getting this silverside corn meat in the slow cooker. It's all there ready to go. We'll plug her in, and as well as showing you tonight, the BLUETTI is going to power all the lights in the whole caravan, the TV, the Starlink, everything that we need as an emergency backup source. And yes, if you don't have a big battery system built for off-grid touring and camping like we do, this is an option, not just for your van but in your vehicle as well. With that BLUETTI Charger 1, that could power it indefinitely. So you could use that as a dual battery system in your vehicle and power your adventures. Time to get the silverside on. In the slow cooker she goes. Fill it up with water, a bit of salt, put the lid on and let it do its thing. Sun's just gone down over the hill. Have a go at that sunset. It's pretty ordinary really, isn't it? But have a go at this silverside thanks to the BLUETTI cooked to perfection in the slow cooker. I'll show you the app there on the phone on the screen now. Still connected to the van at 55%, and that will power us through the night to run the lights, to run the Starlink, watch a bit of TV. How good is that? You don't need to rough it when you go off-grid camping. Have a go at that in the background. This is what living's all about, people. Just getting out and enjoying it. And having the BLUETTI Elite just makes that even that much more easier. So easy to cook dinner while we're sitting around the fire, just enjoying life. Dinner is cooked the easy way. Have a go at that. Corn meat, silverside and mashed potato. Thanks to our fellow travellers, the semi-retired travellers, for this Irish recipe of mashed potato, cabbage and bacon. Looks good, smells good, I reckon it's going to taste good too. But camping off-grid doesn't have to be hard. This is as easy as it gets. Yeah, we normally take all the camp ovens and everything with us, the barbecue plate to stick over the fire, and we love cooking over the fire. But this here is just so easy. The BLUETTI powering the whole caravan, from cooking dinner, to the lights, to the water pumps, to the TV, to the fan. Entirely everything in this caravan is running off the BLUETTI. So there you go. Point is proven that you can run your caravan off-grid off of the BLUETTI. Powered off the sun has cooked us dinner and is going to power our whole caravan at least for tonight. There's no point trying to prove that we could stay here indefinitely off of the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2. But you could. If you had enough solar panels up to 1000 watts feeding into it, you'd easily stay here off-grid as long as you wanted to. But that's left us 50% to run the van for the night, just running the lights and the TV. And then tomorrow morning, if you were staying again another day, you'd just have the solar going again and you'd easily charge it up and go again for another day. So you don't need big flash off-grid battery systems when you've got the BLUETTI units. You can easily use that power station to power your adventures in any way you like. So thanks for watching guys. I hope this has been a bit of a helpful one. We've had a heap of questions on can the BLUETTI power a caravan. Yes, it can. Point is proven. So some very honest feedback after using this Elite 100 V2 for a month to power our adventures. Saying I am impressed is an understatement. And yes, everything has worked as it should and exceeded my expectations. The power lifting mode, we haven't needed to use that. We just use one appliance at a time, which up to 1800 watts, it's plenty of power on its own. But knowing that power lifting mode is always there and available to you, you can power just about anything. and with it boosting up to 3600 watts, you could quite possibly even run the air conditioner in your caravan for a short amount of time, but I'm not going to risk that. Don't want to overload it and damage the unit. Plus, in winter time in Queensland, we definitely don't really need the air conditioning going. So having all the ports and everything on there, we've been able to charge all the camera gear, keep everything working, charged up, laptops, but using it with the 240 volt supply is the main thing, which comes in super handy. Being able to use that to run your appliances like you've seen in our last full video on it, it's worked a treat and hasn't missed a beat. A couple of improvements that we could make to it to make it even better, and I know the old unit, the 180, had the mobile phone wireless charging on top. This unit doesn't have that, and I believe it could be the complete setup 100% if it still had that on top, so you could just sit your phone on there and charge it up. The only other improvement that I could suggest would be an Anderson plug output of some sort. Here in Australia, we all love our Anderson plugs and use them for just about everything, for powering your car fridges, anything with a bit of a higher wattage or voltage or amperage draw. The cigarette lighter plug, those days are pretty much numbered. We don't use those much anymore. An Anderson plug built into this unit would be ideal, but it's only a matter of using it through an adapter anyway, and you can power just about anything. If that was built into this unit, it would be so much better. The only other thing that I believe is truly missed on this unit, and there's only 3 things, and this is the third one, is a light. If you were using this, and you can do for a power backup system at home, all the lights go out, the power goes off, the first thing you look for is a torch or a light. If this had a light, even just a small little LED light on there, would be so much better than not having anything built into it in the way of a light. If your power went out for an amount of time, or if you're out camping, yes, you can always plug your camping lights in there, but if you're at home, you're not going to fumble around in the dark trying to find your torch, to find your camping lights, and then to plug it in. If it had a simple little LED light built into it, you could just push a button and see where everything is in the dark once that power goes out. 3 things, that's the only thing that I can find wrong with this unit, and it's not wrong with it, it's just improvements that could be made. That's my honest opinion anyway, and a couple simple improvements could make it a whole lot better. But overall, very happy and very impressed. And thanks to BLUETTI for supplying the unit. Yes, we are affiliated with them. If you want to find out any more details on this unit and all the other products on their store, check out the link in the description, and that'll take you straight to their webpage. And if you use our discount code BA5%, you'll get 5% off your purchase. So I've touched on it before in other videos, but I'll just run through again our off-grid setup in our caravan. Got 480 amp hours iTech World lithium batteries in there, 3000 watt inverter, 40 amp MPPT charger, picking up just over 500 watts of solar on the roof. But when you're parked under conditions like this on a cloudy day, or you got trees blocking your solar, we've also got 300 watt solar blanket and a 250 watt folding panel. So that gives us over a kilowatt of solar feeding in to charge up our battery bank. Now, we've never had an issue with that, and we've been out for 2 weeks at a time in good weather. When the weather's bad, yes, you're going to run low, and yes, we do cart a generator with us. No, we've never had to use it, never ever. Cart your generator, you cart your fuel with you, and you never use it. When all you might need to take with you is your BLUETTI Elite 100 V2, and that'll get you out of trouble as an emergency power backup. Same as if you're at home, you could use that when the power goes out. It'll run all your appliances at home, no problem at all. But you do need to keep in mind that you've got to be able to charge it. So like we've got 500 watts of solar between the blanket and the folding panels, being able to charge that, that'll keep up with just about anything that we're going to run off it, but it will handle up to 1000 watts of solar input. Now that's a lot of solar. That's all our panels over the roof of the caravan and our portable panels put together. I don't think anybody's going to use that, but it is there as an option. You can power it right up if you had that many solar panels, and I know BLUETTI's got some quality solar panels on their store, on their website. If that was paired up with any of the BLUETTI products, you could go off-grid indefinitely. But off-grid camping doesn't need to be hard, and thanks to that BLUETTI product, it just makes it so much easier. Maybe not for your caravan and adventures, but if you were out there or just starting out, getting your setup done and put together, that's all you need is a BLUETTI, your 12 volt fridge, unless you're happy to stick with an esky and ice, but then your ice is going to melt, and in 2 or 3 days time, you've got no way of keeping your drinks cold or your food cold. With the BLUETTI Power Station, you can always power your 12 volt fridge and keep everything nice and cold, and if you've got some way of charging it, well, you can stay there indefinitely. But before we had our caravan with all the off-grid power system in it. All we had was a swag, a gazebo, a gas stove and the vehicle. Throw in a couple of camp chairs, a couple of tables, and that was our off-grid setup. And it was happy days. I wouldn't change a thing. Probably wouldn't go back to those days. Now that we've got that and all the creature comforts that come with it, you can have your Starlink, you can have your Netflix, you can watch TV on a rainy day, but we still love sitting outside around the fire and truly living off-grid and just taking in all those experiences of being outdoors. That's the true off-grid camping, is just getting back to nature like we are here on this magic campground. Just the birds in the trees and the rapids running down the creek. That is true off-grid living and off-grid camping. Doesn't get any better than that. So with us preparing to travel Australia full time, but in no rush, we're not going to be heading off and just doing the lap to say we've been there and done that. It's a lifestyle change for us, living on the road and living off-grid, taking in all that power from the sun, so we won't have any power bills, and just truly enjoying the places that we pull up at, the different locations, without the need to keep driving to charge the batteries. So make sure you do subscribe to our channel and follow our adventures as we do prepare to pack up in just under 2 months' time. This will be our lifestyle and our life, living in our caravan full time. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and now TikTok as well. Follow the adventures. Quite happy to have you tag along for the ride.